Good evening, one and all. So, what am I doing today, you might ask? Well, I have made great strides in getting the offline functionality, local first or offline first design of my application to start working. Um, I got the app to load. It's loading the individual players again. It's getting the coaches up. It's loading the rosters with images. Pretty much everything. I think there's still things I had functioning that might not be, like I haven't tested game plans yet, or the playbook. So we'll see on those. But for now, the first things I tested was getting the game plan. Okay, why did that work? Is it too much? Okay, there we go. The first thing was I was talking about my tags. They didn't go in. That's what I was mumbling about there. But I did decide I wanted to have Bezi launch. What the heck? I have already OBS loading. I don't know what that's all about. But okay, so let's go see. I'll show you what I'm working on. Let's see if I can actually see stuff. I have Bezi working on this plan. And I will show you what I've got right now. And let's see if Bezi will let me mess with it. Because while it does work, in fact, it may already be at a stopping point. So what I had to do is build a plan. I told it exactly what I wanted in a roster, in my roster updates. Now, you're not going to be able to see too much in my roster because I can't run it at the moment. Did it do anything? Let's see what we're at. What was completed? Okay, so here we go. First, let's discuss. So what the roster management is I have some, I can give you an idea what it looks like by going, let's go into my screenshots, put it right there. And here you go. Okay, no, that's not roster management. This is roster management. Okay, so this is my roster management page. I have images loading again, so they're not all default images again. It's only the teams I don't have player images for. But this is an old image when it was still translucent. It's not translucent. In fact, this is actually quite a bit older than I even realized. But okay, so I have these different tabs, and let's see. Whoa, that'd be a bit much. Let's go with that one. Okay, so these are the different tabs you can click. So on the all, this is your entire roster. Your entire team would be here. And all it did was load them. They were just here, whatever order they were passed back from the database. And then each individual position would just have those players. And they were grouped in, for whatever reason, by default, I set it up, 2 columns. And then it would just kind of repeat. So I guess when it fills up, it would go over this way. It was just makeshift. It was like just get it basically loading is all I wanted. I just wanted stuff on there. But now I've given Bezi the task to see what Bezi can really do UI wise. So I built a plan. I told it exactly what I wanted to do. So what that is the all tab is actually going to be different from all the other tabs. The all tab is like the ultimate depth chart. Management, or not depth chart, but position management. It'll have every position in a row. That's the plan, and then you can actually drag players either to increase their depth chart position or swap them out. Move a CB to a wide receiver slot if you wanted to. Just put them into different places, and that would reconfigure them, and they would become that for your team. So that's kind of what this page is for. Now the individual tabs, the design plan for those is the design. Let's see if I have individual tab. Here we go. So this is the individual tab. Right now it's loading safeties. So there's 2 free safeties, 2 strong safeties. But now what it's going to do on all these tabs is it's going to put them all in on a horizontal column, just on the top. They're just going to be listed across the top. And then they're also going to get a depth chart position. Free safety 1, free safety 2, strong safety 1, strong safety 2. And then you can drag them left or right to reorder them. Like you want to make 2 1 or swap 1 over for free safety to strong safety, whatever. But underneath that top row will be a list of their stats, things that matter to that player, anything that player has. This way you could technically compare all your players. You could like see all your players that are free safeties and, you know, how many times, what is their yards per carry average, what are their skills, all the stuff that you want to see, and just make direct comparisons and kind of get a feel for maybe you want to try someone else at a different position. How are they succeeding? You know, you have to kind of decide how you want to progress players, and you can do that by looking at their stats and then dragging them to the position you want them to be in. So that's basically what I told Bezi I wanted. I wanted to rebuild this. Now I actually went through and restructured and created a depth chart position, which basically gives them their 1, 2, 3, 4 within their position. Now every player is actually starting out as their assigned position that comes from, you know, their source code. But you can change that in the game to whatever you want it to. It doesn't matter. It's just going to come in as what, and then you change it to whatever else. So anyway, that's the plan. So I put Bezi to work, and I said, Bezi, what I need you to do is start building stuff. It's interesting though how it did this. Okay, so I told it to do this in phases, right? So it went through. It started. It has 9 phases, right? Phase 9 validation. But look what it did. It did phase 1, 2, skipped 3, did a little bit of 4, did a little bit of 5, did some 6, did 7 and 8 and 9, part of 9. So it basically did the entire plan. So much for stopping at various points. So yeah, I said execute the plan, and I told it to stop at the various points so that I can check to see what it's doing. And it said, yeah, who needs that? I'm just going to do whatever. I'm going to do everything. So Bezi kind of jumped the gun on me there. So, okay. So we do have some things I've got to do. So some of these are me getting in there and working. So now let's look at the data model to understand. Now let me look. Now I have everything I need. Now I have all the context. Good. Oh, let's see how far do we go here. This is the entire, I told the build plan, it just started it. Basically did all this stuff. Good, only roster UI manager CS exists. Now I have all the context. Let me execute all phases. Let me execute all phases. I'll start with pure C# files. Phases 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, creating scripts sequentially since later ones depend on earlier ones. Blah, 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 blah. It's a lot of these already existed. Okay, so I created this roster depth chart service. Now this is the one that's gonna actually be the new. That's the new thing. Game card is not new, but it has to manage the position label. So the position label right now is just their position, QB. But now, if we look at this, I don't want to undo it. Okay, so now if we look at this, we have set position label, which is Nintendo. How's it going, man? I'm just talking about new features I've added to the game. It has been a long time, man. Good to see you out there. Still plugging away. So that's position label. Where's it setting it? Where's the rest of it? It's like it has this. Overwrite the position label text, e.g. QB is now QB1, but this doesn't. That's weird. It's just, I don't know how it's doing that. That's kind of a weird, because it doesn't actually show. It just says it set it to label. So whatever this set position is, but it doesn't show that as a new piece of code. So I don't know where it put that. Oh, this is all the code it updated. So we go look. This is my new depth chart manager. Oh my gosh, bot. What are you talking about? This guy, what guy? Are you talking about Nintendo? Dude, he was a regular on my channel here long before you even came along, man. Come back to slum it with us. Yeah, I don't know. I gotta tell you, Nintendo, just heads up. Bot's an interesting guy. He's got some interesting interests, I guess. So he's definitely get your mind going sometimes. Yep, you're an OG. On YouTube. You know, I don't have that many YouTube followers, honestly. I have a lot more of my my YouTube, or a lot more Twitch followers, I think, than I have YouTube followers. Actually, it's actually not that different in actually how many I have. But as far as those that actually show up when I'm live, I don't have that many. I have more that have come around on Twitch. Honestly, not very many people view live. In fact, I don't even know what half the people who follow me do, because I don't get that many views on my I have 202 subs, but if you look at my videos, I average like 3 views. It's like, really, I don't know the 202 people like come in, click, and then never come back. They don't even, my videos don't get any attraction. Probably because I can't stay on topic. I think some people follow because they're just curious, you know, maybe about the game, or maybe they came by. It's like I got a few follows when people have, well, on Twitch anyway, when they raid me. But you don't get raided on YouTube. I don't know what YouTube's equivalent of a raid is, but I mean, 202. I broke 200, but I mean, I think I've been at 200 for about 4 months now. So I need to do more. Recorded videos. But I keep saying I'm going to do it. But I don't do it. Thing is, I've been trying to, I have a plan. I'm like, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start doing like little 10-minute videos that just talk about one particular feature that I've worked on and what I'm doing. Or I'll do a little update video where I'm just showing this is what I've got so far. Just little videos that are short, sweet, get to a point. They don't really, not whole talks about the coding and stuff. I mean, not insignificant. Things that I can edit and put out quickly. But every time I want to do that, I'm like, oh, but I can't let it have this little bug. Oh, I can't let it have this. So I start recording, and then I hit something like, oh, I got to fix that first. So I go try to fix it. And then I don't get around to recording. And I try to fix it, and then I go, let's add this. So let's add that. Let's add this. Let's fix that. And then I go, all right, let's do it. I think I got a good spot. And then I go and run it, and I'm like, ooh, that's there. I got to fix that. Got to do that. I can never just break at a point and go, okay, I don't care what the state of the code is. Just do the frickin' video and put it out there, and then come back and do it again. But it's like I have this thing about putting out something flawed. It's like it's gonna be flawed until it's done, and even then it'll probably be flawed, right? But it's quite the. This really did a lot. I don't even know where to start with looking at this stuff. Alt tab, yeah. I'm tempted. I just want to kind of see what it did. Bezi made a lot of changes though. All right, so we got also fix on enable path that still calls refresh layout directly. Now views handle layout. Now compile and check for errors. Clean compile. Let me do final review of the complete roster to confirm it looks correct. Good. I'm really curious how this came out. I have to attach some stuff. There's this manual stuff. Let's go do the manual stuff. I got to get the manual parts in or I'm not going to be able to test this. All right. Select player cards panel under. All right, so this. Nope, roster. All right. Player SV. Player SV, there it is. All right. Player cards panel. There it is, player cards panel. Remove its grid layout group, all right. Add a vertical layout group. Oh. Remove it and add vertical layout group plus content size. It has a content size fitter. Horizontal preferred size. It is horizontal preferred size. Okay. All right. Bot. Learn to know thyself. you are way interesting. And I say that with air quotes. It's you have interesting interests, to say the least. All right, create child. Player cards row dash panel. Add horizontal layout group. Okay. So we got a new game object. Let's actually make this visible because that would be way easier to see if I could see what I'm doing. All right, so this is the roster management screen, as you probably have seen in the past. How far am I on the game? I'm doing good. I have a lot of stuff that's happened in the last few months, but not all of it's visual. A lot of it is more infrastructure, base infrastructure. Okay, so let's say back in November, I had game plan, I had the game loading, I had it auto creating the league, I had the ability to load game plans and playbooks, kinda. Playbooks are kinda. They're still kinda. But I got to get those going a little bit more. But I had them all kind of working. I had the default. I could edit them. That was what I was doing in November. Come December, it got to the point. It got to the point where I was like, okay, I need to get stuff I have this stuff kind of loading, but I want to be able to demo it, show it off a little bit, right? And the only way that was going to happen is either they come to my house. I get some people over here, like family and friends, and I have them come over and I can like connect it to my, I need to make it work on an actual device. Either that or I had to have them come downstairs and look at my computer and I show them around. And I did that a couple times with some people. This is before I ever got very far though. And then I'm like, but I want to take this somewhere and show it to people in person. I want to leave the house. So what did that mean? Wow. What that meant was I needed to be able to put the game on a device. And in order to put it on a device, I figured, well, that means I need to have offline functionality. I need to have a database on my phone that can actually function, And that's where the next couple of months of journey came along. Come January and February, I went into designing, developing, creating, figuring out how to do the offline mode. I want my game to be offline first, which basically means you do not have to be connected to the internet all the time. You'll need to be connected to the internet when you install the game and get it up and running. But if you play AI only leagues, like you don't play it with online, you'll be able to function with a lot of your stuff just on your phone. You could go camping and be out where there's no internet connection, or you could have you could be in the doctor's office where we know that they always somehow, you can never play with your phone. You could be playing the game while you're at the doctor's office, where for some reason you can't get internet. Anywhere you're at that you can't get internet, you'll be able to continue to play with your offline functionality, the stuff that works on your phone. So that's what I've been trying to get built. In doing that, I learned that a lot of the stuff I was laying for groundwork was broken, because I was actually going into implementation now. I wanted to see it work. And that's why I started looking at the code and seeing how it was outputting and realizing it was doing two different things. It was all screwed up. So I had to refactor, rebuild, reconnect. And a lot of it was because I didn't know what I was doing. I'm learning as I go, and I keep picking up new ways to do stuff, understanding better how the flow goes. Finally, after multiple refactors and redirections, and I finally have the game is right now offline first for the functionality I have, which means when you start the game, it'll download all the assets from the internet. From that point on, everything it does, after you log in and create your account, log in, it downloads all the assets and all the data it needs. From that point on, you could theoretically disconnect your phone from the internet, and it'll just work for online only. For the functionality I currently have, which is starting your game, getting your team built, selected, roster built. At least that's the way I've designed it right now. I've been testing to go. I have to, once I get this next part done, I got to build another Android build. I haven't done an Android build in a bit because I just got to this state that I'm in, like today or yesterday. Finally got it looking good. It goes all the way in. I'm like, this is cool, man. I think it's doing everything it's supposed to. I could actually open the local database and it has all the data. And according to my console logs, it is running it all offline, which means it's running off of the offline database, not needing the internet for that stuff at all. And then it does a background sync, which takes whatever data you have, and as long as you're online, it'll sync it to your online network. So this way you could switch devices or whatever you want. So that said, I probably shouldn't be updating and adding new functionality. Now that I think about it, I should have checked in my code is what I should have done. But now I'm at a point again. I went and I probably broke stuff, and now I'm going to have to get that working before I check it in. I don't like to check in broken code, but I'm pretty sure it's probably not happy at the moment. So that's where I'm at. I've got offline mode working. That stuff is all happening underneath the covers, but it gives me the potential of being able to take my phone out of the house and show what I have to people anywhere. I can go to a game store and say, hey, check out this game. What do you think? Where am I at? How's it coming? And now whenever I do builds, hopefully I'll keep building that in and constantly be able to run that and start demoing it for people. Now we're not at a good demo point because I don't have a simulation yet. And all that is, why am I working on roster management right now when you don't need it for the simulation? Because I'm that kind of guy. I keep working on the next thing. I keep going back. I mean, I do work on the other things, but here's the deal with roster management and why I wanted to get it going. It's a key element of the game. And being able to see all your cards is going to be kind of a cool feature to have when I do actually do a demo. See the cards, look at the cards, sort the cards, move around with the cards. That's all kind of a key part of the demo, even if it's not necessary to doing the simulation. For the simulation, I only need the playbook and the game plan, in theory. Because, Building the teams was necessary because I needed it to actually give me players to run the simulation with, but I didn't have to display those players through roster management. But it became one of those things where it was like, yeah, that's a little too important. So I put it in there. I got it to load. I'll tell you what, though. Once I went offline only, there's some coding that I did. I was able to go in and simplify some code just because it didn't have to do some online stuff. It was able to just to pull data. I don't have to cache images anymore because they're just coming from your database. Why would I cache them? It's not that far. It's right there on your system. It's not pulling network. It doesn't have to keep going back and pulling stuff off the network. Everything just runs locally, allowing for it to run a lot faster. And I did notice it runs a lot faster. Like the roster loads up instantly with all your stuff. There's not a lot going on. Hopefully it'll run like that all the time when I put it on a phone and stuff and I've got it. I think it will, which is going to make it very nice for executing. I don't think a lot of games that have a network element are designed to run offline at all. It's actually quite rare, I think, to be fully offline capable for a game, unless it is actually built to be an offline game. If you play Retro Bowl, that game's an offline game. I think it has online elements. In fact, I don't know what'll happen if you don't have internet and you try to play Retro Bowl, but I think the game itself is fully on your phone. But I don't know if they're blocking you from playing without the internet because it's just a phone game. And almost any game that is just a phone game is probably pretty fast because all the code is on there. But then if the data is stored online, which a lot of games may be, because, you know, all those gacha games, they store all that stuff on their server. They may put some assets on your device, but if your device is disconnected from the internet, the game won't run. And that's a lot of phone apps. And to me, it was important to have that, to not be blocked. I want to be able to start my game and play it anywhere. And yeah, you may have some limitations what you can do because some stuff is, you know, shared amongst other people, but that stuff that only you do, there's no reason why you shouldn't be able to do it offline. So that's my theory. And and I wanted it built in from the beginning. You can't say, you know, one of the future builds will do that. You can't do that because it's a major functionality, and building offline mode, a lot of games have promised an offline mode and rarely ever get to it because it is a major structural change in a lot of cases. Building it in is not, you have to plan for it. You got to build it in so that you're not refactoring your entire app. You got to build the app so it's ready to go for that. I mean, at least build the infrastructure for it. Even if you decide to not complete it or, you know, implement it all the way through, you have to have the planned infrastructure, test a couple basic elements, make sure that they work. Then it's just a matter of expanding into the other areas. If you do it right, then the trick is you won't have that much work to do when you do implement it fully. Here's my example. You want to build your code so the UI doesn't care where the data is coming from. So you build this data layer, right? So this is standard stuff as far as application design. You build a data layer that is basically shielding the entire UI from where the data goes. And all the AI does is says, hey, give me this data. And then I have an API router which routes to either the network or to the local DB, depending on function and availability, right? So we're going to have different things that go to the network than we do to the local, like all the network only stuff that can only run online. But most everything else is going to route to the local database. The local database will allow you to do everything as long as the data is there for it. So you can run your AI only stuff because there's no other people involved. So it just keeps that stuff on your local machine. Any changes you make will get synced on a regular interval back to the network, so that if you want to go play on your PC later, you can. Now, will there be problems that? Well, I do have a conflict management system I built in that's supposed to be able to deal with double logins. It's going to log one out and log one in and try to make sure everything is kosher. It'll give you warnings if it knows that you have an offline game. You know, that kind of thing. It's going to try to make sure everything stays in sync. It's tricky because if I was to keep everything online only, no problem, right? You're not going to have any issues. As long as the offline sync is on and you're on all the time with your phone, you're generally not going to lose anything. But there is risk. So it's going to warn you. It's going to say, look, if you are playing offline on your phone and you haven't synced, so you can always check to make sure that when you connect your phone, I'm going to have a notification mechanism to let you know when you're fully synced online, so that you know all your stuff is going to be available to you when you go switch device. And you kind of want that all the time if possible. I mean, I want to have it like always available, you know, like a little thing at the top, synced, not synced, not synced, you know, just some little thing that's always notifying you that some data is what state you're in. This way you want to make sure that synced value is on, that you're good to go, to make sure that whenever you switch devices, you're going to get all your data. That's the idea. So that's where I'm at. There you go. You got it, man. I gave you the whole rundown of everything I'm doing and what I've done. Now I'm going back to doing this is my first major UI update in weeks. And that's to change the roster and how it works. I did have to put a little back in for that. All right, bot. You have a good one, man. You and your baby harp seals. Okay. Let's go back to seeing what I need to do to complete this. All right, so create a child, player cards row. Let's go add that. And that goes under the player cards panel. And what is this? Just a game object? I guess it's just a game object. Oh, it's a panel. Oh, okay. UI panel. Oh, player cards. It's probably just going to be attached. It probably doesn't really actually care the name, right? Plus, this is a form. All tabs. Well, maybe I do need to call it that for now. Player cards row. Panel. And then we need to add a component to this, and it says horizontal layout group. Plus content size fitter. Sheesh. That's a lot of gigabytes of seals. Of course, it probably goes fast if they're videos. Content size fitter. All right. Horizontal preferred. On player SV, scroll rect. Player SV, scroll rect. Enable horizontal scroll, disable vertical scroll. Okay. Create a prefab. Okay, I guess that makes sense. Create. Honestly, I forgot how to create a prefab. It's like, create a prefab. Brain fart. How do I create a prefab? Prefab. Is that a... It's kind of like a scene, right? Create. Dang it. All right, create prefab. At assets. Oh, actually tells me. Create prefab at assets. Prefabs. Okay. I don't remember how to create a prefab. I could cheat and just copy one, but I want to remember how to do this. Ah, there it is. Found it. All right. Create prefab. We're going to call this player stats row. What is that? I don't even think that's a thing. All right, so what do we need to do? Root, horizontal layout group. Horizontal layout group. What else do we need? Create with hierarchy, root, plus layout element. Preferred width 300. All right, I'll see. Preferred size. Preferred width. Sure, we'll do 300. I don't know. Hopefully, preferred height 80. And we need to do a depth label TMP. So we're going to go here, Text Mesh Pro. What is it? Depth label TMP. Sure, okay. Add TMP. What is it? Salary? Salary TMP. And experience. What have you been up to anyway? What have you been getting done, Mr. Nintendo? What's been going on in your life in recent days? Player stats row component. Wait, where am I adding that? To root. What am I doing? Players stats row. Cheapest viewers. We'll block you and yeah, it's blocked. Okay. Hey, did I already do that? All right. You. I don't know what all that is. That's some big text. Player stats row is on the root. And then we got the depth going here. Salary text going there. And experience going there. All right. So obviously it didn't tell me how to clean these up, so I will do that. I have a, I created a function called text applier. And I think this is just going to be a body text. Let's go common body. What does this look like? Okay, so yeah, I think we can go with common body. Sure. Why are those so big? Those are not the right size, man. Those are not good. Well, at least those are in the right place. Why do I have like multiple? Something's weird. I think this is, when I added these, it added a canvas. I don't think it's doing that right. These look the same. I added the TMPs to the true tab. A canvas object was added to the root object automatically. And things look a bit off. we'll go back up here. We'll continue to add in the extra parts. Can't. I know it's not going to let me do this. I've tried this before. It always tries to tell me to do this, but it doesn't work. Well, let's see, I think, anyway. All right, maybe not. Maybe I'm delusional. Okay, where'd it go? I don't know where it is. Hello? Hello? Where's you going? Oh. I didn't even know you could... Oh, okay, so there's my square. That's the area I need to be. My stuff is all bonkers now. All right, so we have our 3 depth. Okay, so that's what we got. We got our 3 text fields. They're kind of way too big for the box. But, okay. Cleanest approach is to undo to before the TMPs are added and do it correctly. Right-click Player Stats Root UI TextMesh Pro. This creates depth label TMP directly under the root without spawning a canvas because the root. Repeat for salary temp and experience temp. Add player stats row component to the root and wire the 3. Okay, so I did that and I did that. That's all wired up. Okay, so I don't need to have this one open. Right. We'll just say depth. Salary and experience. This is all dummy stuff, but I'll populate it with actual stats later. I don't have a lot of other stats yet, but I have plans to put a lot of stats on there so you can look at it and compare stuff, but I don't have it yet. So okay, so I think it's fixed. Maybe. Only thing is, it's not really fitting my... I don't know why it would be weird. Some values driven by horizontal layout group, which is fine, but let's make stat values vertical. Could end up with a list that is pretty long and not conducive. Conducive? How do you spell conducive? Conducive to horizontal display. idea is to be able to compare each player's stats. So the stats should line up across the page. Now, do I think this is the best way? Honestly, it's quite possible this is not, because I thought about doing it two different ways. One is you put the players on the left, and then you put their stats on the right. And that's kind of the commonality. But I actually went with players across the top with their stats underneath. Does that work? I don't know. I mean, it'll work. But yeah, I don't know. I'm a little unsure, honestly. I could be doing this wrong. So a lot of games don't put a lot of stats out, right? And there could be a reason why nobody does top to bottom like I'm doing. It could be a functionally complex problem. I want the players on top so you can sort them, but you can sort technically vertically as well. Then you keep their whole row of stats underneath, and then you could stack them. I guess we'll find out. That's all I can figure. It could end up being awkward. I don't know. It would require a little bit of a restructure to go the other way. I don't know. I guess my thought was it would look cool, but it could be that it doesn't. Blah. 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 My brain is like restructuring, reconfiguring, reconfiguring plan. Because even in its current state, I think I might be doing it wrong. Huh. I may be overcomplicating this. Shoot. Because I'm thinking instead of having just the cards across the top, the whole player card should just be one prefab. Say load your player cards in. Oh gosh, I'm getting tired. I got to turn on my wake my brain up music. I have wake. You know what? This kind of music is actually really really helpful. I don't know why it's so. It just kind of wakes the brain up. It takes me a bit to shake it off though. Okay, I think I need. Oh god, it's gonna take a minute to trigger. It does seem to be waking me up a little bit, but it takes me a few minutes for my brain to restock. Tomorrow's Friday, and I got a lot to do this week as we get closer and closer to the weekend. I want to do another demo. You know what? I think I need to rethink this. Shoot. All right. So I think I need to have it undo everything. It's not. All right. What if we just have a single player stat? Isn't that what this is called? Player card, player stats. View prefab. This prefab would have the card, the player card at the top, and the vertically position stats underneath. Cards would not scroll, but they could be larger and could be within the viewable area. Container holds them. Gosh, but I can't do that because the card always has to be viewable. I mean, I guess that's not necessarily a requirement. I mean, I may be, like I said, I may be over analyzing what I'm thinking. I'd like to have it be like a frozen top of a spreadsheet where you got the cards, they always stay on top, and then all the stats underneath them can be scrolled up underneath. But if I do that, then I have to separate the top from the bottom so that the bottom can individually be scrolled. This is just a thing, you know, Unity. So if I wanted to do that, I would have to have the bottom would be its own area with the stats, and then I can I thought about just doing a single card, but that separation of the card from the bottom is going to be, it's going to be necessary if I want the stats to be able to scroll separately from the heads, from the actual cards. All right, let's do it. Let's just rethink this. Okay, let's go ahead and not change. I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna go with my current thought and see where we end up. I can always adjust things. Okay, back to what I was doing. Create all tab panel on sibling of player panel. Okay. So is that all I'm doing with this? Why aren't these like forced to fit? Why does that disappear? It's kind of annoying. Oh, I got him into the square. So the width got it in there. But I don't think I want. Why did that disappear? It's really annoying. They all have their own. That's not a very tall object, is it? Ah, all right. Let's see what it does. Okay. Oh, is that a ding? Is that how it's doing it? Right. Good, now let me check the actual parameter fields. Now I have the full model. Let me rewrite both files. Now update position table view. I don't have position table view yet. To build one row per stat category instead of one row per table. I'm really not sure how to do this. I'm struggling. My brain is like, oh no, what am I doing? Am I making this too hard? No, I'm not. But I mean, I just got to make sure it's going to come out. I just want it to look good. Okay, so what am I missing here? Supposedly, Bezi has this thing called Bezi Actions that supposedly lets it actually make some edits on its own. I'm kind of curious what it can actually do. I've never actually played too much with Bezi Actions, but I'm curious what it can do because it's going to be able to do things a lot faster for what it can do. So it'll be interesting. All right, it's going to try some stuff. I'm going to let it try some stuff. Hopefully it won't mangle my code too bad. We'll see what happens. I got to keep an eye on it, but we'll see. So today is a busy day. Get it? Bezi gets a busy day. So we got a new dog. Okay, well, we got 2 new dogs this last Saturday. And one of them is well, it's a husky. At least that's what they said. I mean, that's a lot of it. But it looks like a Shinu Inu or a Shinu Uno. It basically looks like a thin version of a husky. And okay, I did all this mega research on what dog I actually wanted, right? I actually wanted to get a certain type of dog, that a certain type of temperament that I was looking for. There was a few different options, but there was one, range of dogs. This dog was not any of those. She wasn't even close. She just totally broke most of my expectations, and we got her because she broke one of the, or she did manage to fall into one particular aspect that was unusual for that kind of dog because she's a mix. she she was quiet, which is different for this type of dog. And she's great. She's got a great personality. She's sweet as heck, right? She's a beautiful dog. But we brought her home, and we were reading up on this type of dog. Even at a 50% mix, which is what she is. She's about 50% based on DNA. We're doomed. Totally out of our bandwidth of capability to take care of her. I mean, she just needs all this extra energy activity. We just aren't that active. I mean, I am. I mean, I go run and stuff, and she would love that if I did it every single day, but I don't. I do a lot of different things, and I only run maybe once or twice a week. And beyond that, all she would have is running around in the backyard with our smaller dog, which really is a puppy, and she loves to play, but she just can't keep up with her. I mean, she's just got energy. But, you know, she's big, way bigger than her, so she knocks her over, and eventually she tires out and doesn't want to, you know, gets tired of being knocked around by the bigger dog. She doesn't hurt her, I mean, but it's just like, you know, it's a lot. She wears out quicker. So short of having a dog that's the same size as her, she doesn't really have a playmate that can keep up with her. And that's a problem. And then she's really smart in the sense that if she wants something, she will figure out how to get it, as far as getting out of the yard. And we were worried about that because our other dog used to always break out, and it was a lot. So keeping up with her energy levels, her energy needs, and keeping her in the yard. We have a double dose yard. We have an enclosed fence and an invisible fence to keep her in the yard. But, and it's working so far. I mean, she seems to have learned that she doesn't like the buzz that comes with that electric fence or the invisible fence. And so she stays off of that, right? She doesn't like to get close. So far, that's keeping her in. However, it is kind of a concern of ours being able to keep up with that. And plus, we wanted to get a dog that we could trust to stay near us if we go camping or go anywhere. Just take her with us and know that she's not going to bolt without us having to watch her the entire time or put her on a leash all the time or have to get babysitters for her all the time. It's just, there are times when we don't mind having her with us. I like to be able to travel with her and you know, just be able to have a dog that can behave. She's great. I didn't want to get rid of her because I feel bad for her, but I also really like her. But I know I can't, it's like, it's not responsible for me, right? To be able to keep a dog that I can't fill her needs. So we said we're returning her. We decided to return her, but we offered to be foster parents for her until the right parent comes along. The right people come along for her. And also might allow us to give some idea what they're to expect, you know, because she's a beautiful dog, and somebody could be like us, sucked in by her beautiful, kind personality, and not realize what waits for them when they get her home. Not hides, but waits for them when they get home, because that's stuff you'll never see indoors. She's great indoors. Just not so great outdoors unless you've got a lot of energy to keep up with her. So, anyway, that's the situation. Let's see what it did. All right, so I can do this. All right, let's see what we're doing. Everything structural has been built programmatically. All that's left is assigning serialized field references in the inspector. Okay, so 1. Player stats row prefab. That's this. Okay. And we got to put the label. Oops. Wrong thing. Oops. Oh, it's the text. Wait, what? Wait, what? Well, it created this, but I don't think that's actually a TMP. Because if it was a TMP, it's missing stuff. I don't know what it created, but that was not a TMP. No. That's a TMP, and I bet you this is different. See, see how that has only 2 items, rect and layout? This has a text mesh pro element, which the other one did not. This doesn't do anything. I mean, I guess I could use this and just add a text mesh pro UI element to it. And then I could probably delete that. And then I could probably go here and put this on here. Yeah, let's see what this does. But I do want to put a text applier on this. All right. So we'll save that. Oh, my brain is cleared up a lot. I feel way better. Ugh, that was rough. When you start getting sleepy and yawny, no good. All right. Position row entry prefab. Position row. Okay. And that one needs the same thing. No? Add position row entry component. Position row entry component. And then add component position row entry, add that. Didn't actually ask me to add anything to this group key. I don't know what that is. What is that group key? Looks like it's just something I can text in. Huh. Oh, maybe it's something you set in the back end. Oh, it's probably going to be coming from that table. Position group. Oh, okay. Let's see, player panel. Roster panel, player panel, okay. Roster player panel. Add component position table tab view, position tab view. Not player card? Player panel, nope. All right. Position tab view. And then player row scroll rect. What am I adding to that? Player row. Player SV. Oh. And then container should be player cards row panel. And then stats grid panel, stats container, stats grid panel. Game card prefab. And then stats row prefab. Where'd it go? Player, I think it's player stats row prefab. Here it is. Okay. And then we got to go to the all tab panel. Which, do I have that? Add all tab, okay. Oh, here it is. Alt tab view. And there's parts underneath that. Group rows panel. Position row entry prefab. And then the game card prefab. All right, then we're going to go to 5, roster panel, wire, roster UI manager, view references. Position tab view, player panel. Alt tab view. Okie dokie. So, what does that mean? I can test this? Does that mean I can test this nonsense? Save. Going to address some issues. It said, good, I could see a lot of problems. Let me fix those. All right, you know what? I think it's time for me to sign off. I think 90 minutes is a long enough coding thing, but this was my Bezi goal for the day. See what Bezi could do. Now, are we there? Not quite. This is a pretty big document plan of what I wanted to see what Bezi could accomplish. And you can see it's big, lots of stuff. But you can see it even has some boxes that aren't quite ready. Now this is a cleanup action. We're going to remove old stuff. Oh, some of this stuff is already done. I'm going to probably have to, yeah, a lot of this stuff is done. Actually, a lot of this stuff is done. It's gonna have to check off these to-dos. All right. Well, let's see what happens. This shouldn't stop it from running, I would hope. Guess we'll find out shortly. Hopefully. Let's see what happens. Now I have something open that shouldn't be, but I have an app initializer, which is supposed to be smart enough to close crap that's not supposed to be open. So we should be all right. We are correct. We are loading up our data. Okay, so this is not part of roster, so this should not have an effect. Interestingly enough, I thought I selected a team already. That's a thing. Why am I, it did not save my team selection. This is the team I selected. And it's interesting that I could actually go in here and I don't know what it's going to do. It's just loading. It just basically forgot that I selected this already. That's interesting. View. Okay, so roster's not quite right. Yeah, we're a little closer there, but that's yeah, we got some. I mean, it's closer. I mean, it's kind of, sort of, in a way, kind of. Yeah, we're not loading. For one, we're not loading up the individual panels. It looks like it's spreading each panel out. And this one is loaded everybody up in a line. How did it do? Are we scrollable? No. LT4. Oh, wide receiver 5. Tight end 3. Oh, okay. So yeah, that's gonna have to be. And plus, it doesn't scroll. Defensive end 8. Huh. Interesting. Hmm. All right. Well. We do have a few issues. One, Alt tab. Showing all the players in a single row. Now, each row should be all the players at position. Ignoring depth. The depth part. Position value. Also, there should be a mask in place preventing cards from going off the screen and staying in the viewable area. That we scroll. Let's see positions. Map. 2. Position tabs are loading only one player. player card, but it do seem to be showing all the player stats underneath. Oh, whatever. Oops. Well, let's see what that does as far as whether or not Bezi can fix it. I don't know. We're at 90 minutes. I said I was done. I do need to sign off so I can get some decent sleep and have a good Friday, because I'll be up late again tomorrow, playing games, doing something. I don't know. Just chatting, being noisy. Got to do another update somehow. Let people know how it's going. Till next time.